Let's do some yoga. All 0 of you. Okay. I'm gonna wait. I'm just waiting to see if someone comes on. Okay. We'll go ahead and do the stream anyway. Oh, hi. Somebody's here. Yay. I'm getting less and less articulate as weeks go on. Yesterday was a really hard day with technology. So fingers crossed, today will be better. You're going to want a chair, a blanket, and a yoga strap. I think that's about it today, but who knows, right? Okay, so let's just start with a little bit of moving the arms and shoulders. And if this is a bad shoulder one for you, please don't persevere, that's the word. So we're gonna float our arms up, and if your shoulders hurt, you could also be down here. You're gonna exhale and look to one arm, and that palm is gonna flip up. And then you inhale, and then exhale, other arm, palm is up, inhale. So that is how we're gonna roll for the next few minutes. And remember, your arms can always lower if this isn't feeling great. And then we're gonna look forward, and we're just gonna do a side stretch. And then from there, and don't fall out of your chair, you're going to turn over to the floor, bring yourself forward, out to the other side, and come up. Yep, that was a lot. So you go over, you go around, you come over, and up. So there doesn't have to be a perfect to this. You're going to feel hopefully some stuff happening in your low back, maybe some stretching. This next time we go over to the left whenever you're there. Stay and take your left arm on your left upper thigh. Right arm is going to go up and straightish. We're going to twist towards the right. Lean to the left. Again, please don't fall out of your chair. And then we'll turn down and we'll sweep. That was not quite as elegant as it could have been. So here we are, second side, right arm on your leg, left arm extending, twisting a little bit with your ribs if that feels good towards the left. And then we're going to come up, and we're just going to take our arms up, and then we're going to exhale, and we're going to turn our torso to the left. So that right hand is on the outside of the left thigh. You can get really tall and breathe in, and then just allow your upper body to spin around as you breathe out. If you'd like, you can turn your head back to the right and tip your right ear to your right shoulder. If there's an arm position that you prefer, so your arm could rotate in, it could rotate out. You could even pull the chair if that feels good. And you're dropping your left shoulder, and you're dropping your left shoulder blade. And maybe you just explore a different position in your head. And then we'll let our head lift, and we'll float our arms up, and we're going to turn, and we're going to stay, and twist our upper body to the right, and then we're going to turn back to the left. So you're going to maybe tip your head. Again, if you want to try grabbing onto some part of the chair, you might not have a chair that you can grab onto. I just want to acknowledge that, but if you can grab. And you can explore different positions with your head if that feels nice to stretch your neck. And then let's go ahead and just float the arms back up. And then we're going to float them back down. So we're going to stand and we're doing TikTok. And that one is probably familiar. I will get my chair to the side so you can see, but you would want to stand like that with something to hold on to. Make sure it's tall enough if you're tall. And so I would recommend holding on to something. Bring your weight to a leg, zip that hip into the midline, and lift the other one. So as you bring your weight to a leg, you don't want to sink if possible, but rather feel like you're elongating upwards. So that's it. You might think of your ribs kind of lifting up, particularly the ribs on the side of the leg you're standing on. Oops, I forgot to turn the heater off. I forgot that makes it a little noisy in here. So I want to remind you that you can stop at any time. But if you are kind of digging this, try going until you feel a really good sense of fatigue in the leg that you're standing on. So not the one that's lifting so much, but the one that doesn't lift. We're going to rest. We're going to get the chair and turn it so that you have the seat facing you. I'm going to walk you through a couple things, but we may stop and do demos. So the first thing you're going to do is walk your hips away from your chair. And you could step your feet back. So if you know what a down dog is, this might feel a little bit like a down dog. The center of the buttocks are going to be pulling up and back, and your arms can be reaching forward. If this doesn't feel good for your shoulders, feel free to let your arms bend a bunch. So we're going to think of the crown of the head reaching forward and the tailbone pulling back in the opposite direction. And then if you so desire, you could walk your feet a lot wider and continue with this. So it may be that you start to feel more things in the inner thigh, particularly if you go super wide. And then I'm going to have you bend your knees a little bit and walk yourself back into the chair. Come on up, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So in this one, you're going to want your torso and your shoulder right over your arm. We're taking the other hand on the low back. I'm going to say I don't care which side you do. You're going to press into the chair and twist your upper body. So one thing that you could do here is bend the knee that you're not twisting towards, but straighten the leg that you are. You could stop here, or you could reach that arm again. This has to feel okay for your shoulder. You can reach that arm up. So I have I'm twisting towards it leg straight-ish, and the one that I'm twisting away from is bent. If you want to come out and watch this next thing, you could. I'm going to weave that arm under and I'm going to grab. So I'm grabbing onto the side that represents the bent knee. And I'm just going to find a twist here. It's a little weird, but you're walking your bottom arm over and the other one at a right angle. You may feel this nice in your upper back, between your shoulder blades. And then we'll come out. Both knees are a little bent. We're going to take the other arm on the chair, and then we're going to straighten the leg that we're twisting towards. So the hand could be palm in on your back. You could turn. You could open that arm up to the ceiling if it feels okay. And again, if this is not going to feel good for your shoulder, please don't feel like you have to do it. And then we're going to come out and we're going to weave that arm through. So I'm sure there's some interesting imagery that I can use here, but heck if I can think of anything right now. So you've got right angle arms, and I think if you step a little away from that bottom arm, you might get a little more pulling. And then we're going to bring ourselves up. Both knees are bent. We're going to come all the way up. So I think we're going to go right down onto the floor. Right, I keep looking at the clock, which is no longer on the wall because we just brought it over and put it on the thing that has the computer on it. I think I've changed my mind. We're going to do a little bit of planking. So I really hope that your chair doesn't have arms, because if it does, this one's going to be a little tricky to do. You're going to want to make sure that if you do not have your chair on something like a yoga mat, that you take it up against the wall so that it will not slip away from you. And you do not want to be wearing socks if you're on the floor because your feet will slip away in the other direction. So we're going to step back. You can hold the sides of your chair. I think it would work. Yeah, it would actually. It's harder on your wrists, I think, if you have your palms on the seat. So we're going to pull our hips back and up like we're doing a downward dog. And then we're going to bring our chest forward. So this could be dangerous if you don't have the right setup. You don't want things to slide. You don't want them to get away from you. We're going to inhale and come forward. Exhale and take our hips back. The knees could be bent the whole time if you needed them to be. If you can stay, do. And pull your chin back into your throat and drop your shoulders away from your ears. I think my chair is incrementally sliding. So I'm going to kind of reach my tailbone towards my heels so that I'm almost pulling my pubic bone to my nose. Back of the body is getting longer. Front of the body is going to shorten a little bit. And then let's come back into whatever version of that downward dog-like thing you're doing. And then we'll come to the chair slowly with bent knees. And we are going to come to lay on the right side. You may want your yoga strap nearby. You could take a blanket under your head like a pillow. So, yeah, I don't know if Jamie's on here, but we'll get some good hamstring stretching in, just in case. So, first we're going to lay here, which is also a lot of fun, because who doesn't want to do some Jane Fonda workout? You're laying on your right side and your left leg is going to extend. This left arm could be a kickstand if you want, or you can take it on your hip and let it remind you to lengthen your hip away from your waist. We're going to tip that top hip a little forward. We're going to lift the leg and lower it. So I know that not everyone loves laying on their side. So remember, if you want to sit this one out, great. No one's there to see you, probably, maybe. No one's going to judge you. And then if you can, we're just going to make some circles with that leg. So you are reaching that leg out. Doesn't have to be flexed or pointed, just let the foot be reaching away from the hip, and then the other direction. And then let's just take a short rest. And then we'll let that top leg lift, and you're going to bring it forward. Doesn't have to be a ton, and then back. So spine is not really changing its shape. Just the leg coming forward and back. You'll feel your butt when your leg goes behind you. You might feel something in your hip flexor when your leg comes in front. And then without falling off your blanket, let's add some upper body. So you're going to twist your upper body back to the floor and then come to lay on your side and then twist. This can be an exhale. And then lay on your side. We're going to try to stop here. Arm is forward on the floor, leg is back, hopefully on the floor. Just don't do this if it hurts your left knee. That left leg could be bent or straight, depending on what feels interesting and non-painful. And now we're going to move to the back. So before we change our sides, we're going to come onto the back and we're going to do some hamstring stretching for that left leg. So you're going to want a yoga strap and you're going to take it on your left foot and reach that left foot up to the ceiling. Piece of thread. So we're going to reach under that heel. Here's what I'm going to suggest, not mandatory, but you could choose to do it. Hold your strap in your right hand, take your left hand on your left upper thigh, and gently push that left upper thigh away from you. It's possibly going to feel more stretchy, but please don't do it if it hurts things like knees. And I'm also now going to think about my left butt pulling towards my right foot. Keep pulling that leg in a little closer if that's in the cards for you. And then we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to let that leg bend and exhale. As we come to our second side, you can face whatever direction you want, but if you felt like you needed visuals, depending on where your computer is. I usually take mine on the floor when I'm doing class stuff on the floor, other people's classes. That was another one of my technology disasters yesterday. So we're gonna stretch that top leg and roll it forward, the hip. And we're gonna lift and we're gonna lower. So you're gonna reach into that leg like someone's standing there and pulling it. So yesterday my adversarial relationship with technology began at 9 a.m. where I got up and I registered for a Pilates class with Zoom, and then the teacher wouldn't let me in. So I never got to take the class because the teacher has to let you in the class. And I'm not exactly sure what happened then. She felt really bad about it, but it was like great. And then it was kind of all downhill from there. Okay, let's start circling. And then other direction. So you might be feeling some work in your glutes. Strengthening your glutes really supports your low back. So it's a good thing to have strong glutes. This may not be your favorite way. I mean, if you have trouble laying on your side, this might not be your best bet for strengthening though. And then let's take a little rest. And then we're going to lift that top leg and bring it forward. And then we're going to take it back. So you've kind of kept this part of yourself still. Won't go quite as far. Then if you have something under your head, just not falling off as you exhale, arm back, leg forward. Inhale, arm forward, leg back. You can either sweep your arm or you can lift it up to the ceiling and take it back. Either one is good. And we've warmed up both ways, I think, so I think both are fair. And then let's stop with the leg back and the arm forward. This is not going to necessarily be a universal thing. You may want to explore bending your top leg, keeping it straight. Top arm is going to lay down. And then we're going to come to the back and we'll take a yoga strap or whatever it is that we're working with on our right foot. And we're going to reach that foot up and reach into the heel. So this is where you could take your strap in your left hand and push your right upper thigh away. Right buttock is reaching away and towards that left foot. You can explore trying to pull your leg in a little closer. And then let's take a deep breath in and we're going to let that leg bend, feet on the ground. You could still have something under your head. And we're going to stretch our arms up and interlace them. So this is Bond Girl. You reach into your pointer fingers and then you let your upper body turn. So if you need to modify this arm position, totally cool. One thing is possible is to hug yourself and roll. Little different in as far as what the function is, but that's okay. Just, again, making sure your shoulders are going to be happy with this if you're having unhappy shoulders. So we're going to try some chest opening and upper back work. We've been doing a little bit of upper back work already. But this one, you're going to lower your arms. We're going to roll to the side, and we're going to roll up the blanket in a taquito shape and roll and lay across it. So the blanket roll has to be long enough that you can get your tailbone all the way down to your tailbone all the way up to your head on it. And get yourself there, and then we'll proceed. So just, if for some reason Heather's on here, I don't think she is, but just in case, you do get to keep your tailbone off. That's just for Heather. So arms are up, shoulder distance. We're going to breathe in. We're going to reach our arms up. And then on the exhale, keeping the arms straight and perpendicular, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades around the blanket. So you'll go up on your breath in and squeeze, exhale. When you squeeze your shoulder blades around the blanket, try to be aware of the muscles under your armpits. Those are the ones we're trying to access here. And then we're going to try something a little adventuresome for this class, but it's going to be your counter pose to texting and all those good things. You're going to back off of your blanket. So your arms are back to your sides. And if you didn't have your tailbone on, now you're going to have it on. And I'm going to go to where I can bunch up the very top of my blanket to form a little lump under my neck. So that may take a little adjusting or finessing, but your head is supported, and you want to make sure that you have a sense of support and not just hang out if it isn't something that you feel comfortable with. So ideally, back of the head has dropped below the neck, chin is lifted, arms can stretch down towards the bottom of the roll and just kind of get the shoulders out of the ears. We are going to stay here for several rounds of breathing, but if you are not happy, please come out sooner. And then we're going to just tip over. So you want to get up on your side and off that blanket. We're going to use that rolled up blanket again very shortly, but for now you could use your top arm to push up. I would just set that to the side. And we're gonna move to the stomach, where we'll do a little bit of spinal extension. Spinal extension is also a good counterpost to a lot of things that we're doing these days with devices. And if you could take your arms in a goalpost position, if that's not happy, you could take your arms by your sides. We're going to use our breath in to float the chest and head up. And I'm going to not lift my head more than my spine is lifting. So I don't want to lead with my head or get a big space in between my chin and my chest. Just kind of an organic amount of space. If it feels okay, add a leg in. So one leg, chest and head. You might feel like you're reaching from the crown of the head to the leg. Very long awareness, long spine. We will always be inhaling as we're lifting and exhaling as we're coming out. Then you could try both legs. Inhale, lift, exhale, down. Both legs, inhale, lift, exhale, down. Both legs, chest and head, we're going to come up on our breath in, and we're going to stay here and exhale. Inhale, widen your legs, keeping them lifted. Exhale, bring them together. So this is where we're going to go now, standing up, letting the legs widen on the inhale, coming back together on the exhale. Resting now, hands under the forehead or the chin. Moving on, please watch this next one as it's something pretty new. So you're going to take that roll. If this happens to be a really big roll, you might want to unroll it a little bit so that you end up, mine is not particularly big, but you could do something like this so you have less height. This is going to end up kind of under your bra line, maybe slightly below. And go ahead and just watch as I bring my arms behind me. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to form a little box, and then I'm going to open that box back so it kind of goes around my head. I have the shortest arms in the world, and I can do this, so I think you can too. Then you could stay and reach your elbows back. Please don't let your head get really like hanging out there in this. So remember, you can unroll. You could even put an elevation under your head. You could stay and just relax, or you could gently press your ribs down into the blanket. So coming there if you haven't. We're going to find that perfect spot for the blanket. Where you don't want it is in your low back. So please don't have it in your low back, have it higher. As you lay on it, your arms can start up to the ceiling. You can get that shape in your arms. You might notice which hand and arm are closest to your face, because we're going to switch them in a sec. So your arms could lower behind you, and your shoulder blades are going up, and your armpits are going up. And your elbows are going to reach behind you. And you might want to just move your head back and forth or up and down just to make sure you're not holding it in a particularly weird way. Ribs can jut, or you can press them down into the ground. the blanket, excuse me. And then you can bring your arms up and switch which one is closest. So the interlace or the, I've given up trying to be articulate or cool in any way. Now we're going to bring our arms back and we're going to reach our elbows behind us and crown of the head and try to find some nice stretching and chest opening. And then we're going to inhale and we're going to bring our arms back up. And then we're just going to let them unfold. And if you feel okay in goalpost, just come to goalpost and hang out here a little bit longer. If this is not a happy place, hands could rest on the ribs or by your sides. It's possible that you hate this under your back, in which case you come out sooner. And then we're just going to tip over and find our way back up onto our hands and our knees. We're going to do just a stretch or two more. And the first one we're doing is on the knees with more cushion if necessary. So that blanket, that all-purpose blanket, can now be folded for knee cushion. And here we have our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. Sorry, just making sure I'm still in the frame. We're going to let our left leg come out to the side. So we want a little bit of arch in that foot, which means you're going to pull the little toe side of the foot to the ground. And we're going to think of sinking that left hip a little bit towards the floor. And then maybe you drop to your forearms. That's just a gravy, not a mandatory part. And then we'll try a slightly different version of this. So come back up if you're down, and now you're going to, and I hope you can see my foot. I've turned it so that the big toe is resting on the ground. And the sole of the foot is turned away from me. This may not be great for everybody's knees, so only do it if it feels okay. It's going to be a slightly different version, and once again, you can drop your left hip or groin down to the floor. And in this one, you might just try walking over to that left leg with your upper body. I got these yoga socks at Social Fabric during their I can't remember. It was that sale they had where everybody cleaned out their closet and donated all this stuff. So let's come up. We're going to bend that knee. And we'll find the same stretch on the other side. So you're going to start leg extended, a little bit of an arch in your foot, which means that you're pulling the little toe down. We're going to drop the right hip, groin. You could come onto your forearms. Apparently this side's a little bit tighter. Yeah, so the socks have tree, Vrksasana, triangle, upper dog, camel. And then coming up and onto the hands and maybe turning the foot out so you're on the big toe side of the foot. You could now try walking over to that right leg if you'd like. And then we'll come up slowly, and we're gonna let that knee bend. If you're getting tired with your wrists, you can also take your arms on a chair, or you could be on your fists. We're going to stay on our hands and our knees, and we're going to walk our left knee back a couple inches more than the right one. So if you prefer to have both knees on the blanket, just make that so. You're going into whatever degree of child's pose you can do with that left knee back. And then you might explore walking your upper body over to the right. So this may feel like a side stretch. And then coming up slowly and walking your knee forward. And then we're taking the other one back. Take an inhale, exhale into a right knee back child's pose, and let your upper body walk over to the left. And then we're going to come up. We're going to do a few things laying on the back. We are definitely doing lungy twisty. And after that, I'm not sure. So lungy twisty is going to be done with, if you want a blanket under your head. We're going to widen our legs, and then we're going to tip our right leg all the way over. So I am doing the opposite. You're going to push your left foot down, and your left arm could come out to the side or even stretch up by your head. You want to feel, again, safety in that left shoulder. I know we have some shoulder stuff in this 9 class. So you could reach into that arm if that feels good. You could not reach into the arm. And you do want to be pushing your left bike up. Maybe reaching your left knee down to the bottom of your mat. So there's a feeling of length across the front of the thigh, which is where the lungy part comes in. And then we'll inhale and we'll bring our arm down and we'll come out. And then we're going to tip the left leg over, press the right foot down, and now you're doing second side. So buttock lifts, knee reaches, and maybe the right arm reaches out or up by your head, wherever it's going to feel. And then let's just come out, slowly inhale. And we're going to bring the knees into the chest on the exhale. You can hold your knees, use your inhale to release them a little bit away. Exhaling as you draw them in, and put a little pause there at the end of your exhale. You'll inhale, legs release away. Exhale back and pause. Let your legs go now down to the floor gently. We're going to do one more thing. This is head circles. So if you do have something under your head, try to have it more on the back of the not on your neck, because that's going to inhibit your movement a little bit. If you don't have anything on your head, fine. We're going to pretend our head is pressed up against the ceiling, and we're going to let our head circle slowly, so that if you were pressed against the ceiling, you'd be tracing a circle on the ceiling with your nose. Slowly is really the only requirement. Your circle can be big, can be small. You could explore both. The contraindication for this would be vertigo. If you have some dizziness today, that might not be helped with this at all. So we are going to keep going in that same direction, a little bit longer. And then let's switch the direction. And again, just a really slow circle that you're making with your head. And then you're letting your head come to still. And we're going to transition now to our Shavasana. And so if you have anything that you want to need to do to be more comfortable, that could involve props, layers. Perhaps there is a stretch that you still feel your body needs, just taking care, getting yourself comfortable. And when you're got yourself set up, you could draw your shoulders a little under you and away from your ears. And then you might open up your mouth and just take a really big yawn and let go of any tension that you're holding in your face. See if you can keep your face and mouth relaxed. And you're feeling the weight of your body. The body heavy, supported by the floor. And just a visual for the rest of your relaxation, if there is any space in between your body and the floor, that might be, depending on your props, it could be like the back of the neck, maybe your low back, maybe the backs of the thighs, under your heels. Imagine that the floor is building itself up to fill up those empty spaces. So it's rising up, filling up the empty spaces, cradling your body, holding it and supporting it at a deeper level. And as your body feels more supported, just observe whether it's able to relax a little more. If there are areas in your body that feel tight or uncomfortable, allow them to be cradled even more. We're going to deepen the breath. So in this class, we almost always end back in the chair. I'm going to kind of leave it up to you what is going to work best for you. If you would like to close seated in a chair, go ahead and get yourself there. And then I'll just have you join me as you take your next breath in. We'll just fold the palms away from the body and bring them back together on the exhale in front of the heart. Namaste. Thanks for joining me on this live stream. I'll see some of you guys very soon, next week, maybe Monday. And remember, people from this class can do any other stream they want too, if you want to try the harder ones too. You get the emails.